Hey yo, hello guys, this is Ilyo. So I was watching Demonslayer Season 3 and I saw the uppermoon for hantengu, or to be specific, zohakuten character design. And he does look so goddamn cool. So I was like, let's make it my first anime character. By the way guys, the full video without editing is 17 hours long. And I try to reduce it as possible as I can, but it's too long, so I put timestamps on the video so you can watch the part that you are most interested with, if you don't feel like watching the full video. Anyway, I start looking for reference pictures and I was never able to get a full body look from the anime. So I had to stick different images together and this is the result that I got. So I start sculpting the head first, and I faced a challenge with the face proportion because it does look good only from one side. Either the front view or the side view. So I decide to focus on the front view first, then make sure the side view is good too. As for sculpting his upper body, I got a real body reference image from Google, just to know the anatomy of the muscles. And I wasted time by sculpting the lower body that is not going to be visible anyway. And here you can see me sculpting his wood dragons, because the plan was to create zohakuten with his 5 dragons in the back. But unfortunately, they was so big that even when I cut a single dragon to 5 pieces, only one piece was bigger than my printer. So I had to abandon the idea and 3D print only zohakuten. Anyway, I cut all the pieces and made them ready to be 3D printed. As for the support, I let Box to generate them automatically. And after 3D printing for a day, those are all the pieces that I 3D printed. I put them on my desktop for another day, so they can be cured by the UV light from the sun, since I don't have a UV light machine. And here I am just cutting the supports and testing if everything fit together. I found out later that the hand doesn't fit with the upper body, so I had to reduce their size by 3% and 3D print them once again. And for the painting phase, I'm using this cheap acrylic paint that you need to apply 5 or 6 layers to cover everything and get a smooth result. And you can see layer count on top left corner. Also, I want to tell you guys that I didn't do any sanding because I thought the paint is going to cover the printing lines. And it actually did, but you will get a better result if you do some sanding first. The method that I'm using to paint is from a video that I watch on YouTube. You can find it in the description. Basically, what I learned from the video is that you should thin the paint with water to avoid brush strokes. And before starting to paint, you need to apply a primer first, like this one. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to find it in my country. The only thing that I can find is a plastic primer. So I did a little search to find out if the 3D printing resin considered as a plastic. And indeed, it is a plastic. So I got it and it's kinda work. You can see the paint is sticking to the model. I painted the feet with the same method and the same colors, and it also needs so many layers so you can get a good result. But the problem that I faced here is that I thought by using a normal duct tape to cover the feet, I can paint the pants normally, but it didn't work. And I was like, it's okay, I will get the masking tape and redo the feet again. Which I did, but it didn't work also. So I had to remove all the paint with some alcohol and paint everything from the start without any duct tape. As for painting zohakuten top clothing, I am using a glossy gold paint, but I applied a thin layer of white paint just to avoid applying gold color on a dark surface. And as always, you need to apply so many layers. The only way to avoid that is by getting an airbrush. That will save you so much time. And for his bottom clothing, it wasn't very easy to paint, because there is so many parts stick together. So, if I had to print it again, I will definitely separate the figure even more, to make it easier to paint. And that's what I'm definitely going to do in the future project. For the hands, I painted the white and gold parts off camera. And of course, I didn't succeed in the first try, because it was so hard to make it symmetrical without any guide. And I had to keep correcting to make them similar. And after 2 months, I decided that I am going to paint the head. Why it does took me 2 months to start painting, you may ask? Well, because I was scared to mess it up. And I was like, I will just do it. If it is so bad, I am simply not going to upload the video. But it turns out okay, and I uploaded the video anyway. As for the skin tone, you know his forehead has a very dark pink color with purple veins. And for the rest, it's the same color as his hands. And for his eyes, I choose to paint them fully red, because I don't have a thinner brush to paint more details. When it comes to this drums holder, I am using a brown color to paint it. I forgot to tell you guys that I'm using a wood skewer that I glued with a hot glue gun, because the stick that I 3D printed wasn't able to hold anything. So for painting the drums, I am using a gray color, and because it is a light color, I had to apply so many layers again. And for the sides, I am using the color scarlet, mixed with a little bit of black. As for typing the words, I am just using pure black. And as you can see, sometimes I go outside the words lines, so I use another brush that was dipped in the water to clean up the mess and dry it with a tissue. And now it's time to apply the only acrylic varnish that I found. And I don't know if it is glossy or matte, because the bottle doesn't say anything. Unfortunately, it was glossy, but I ended up using it anyway because I had to seal the paint. I will keep this varnish for stuff that should look glossy, and I will definitely get a matte one for my next anime figure. And after applying the varnish, I let the pieces to dry for a day. Then I glued them together with this ancient hot glue gun. And this is the result that I got as my first anime figure. The thing that I learned from this first experiment is first, you need to separate everything as much as you can. Like separate the hair from the head, and the hands from the arms, and the feet from the legs. This way, you will make it easier and quicker to paint, and guaranteed that the paint is not going to be leaked to the other parts. Also, I will make sure to sand the model first and make it smooth. And if the character has something behind him, it's better to stick it in his back. And if the model requires any kind of holders, it's better to be a thicker one. And finally guys, I am thinking my next anime figure is going to be either Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen, or Mash from Mashly, or maybe Zhongli or Navia from Genshin Impact, or maybe Frieren? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. And please drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss my next upload. And check out the first comment, there is something for you there. And see you guys in the next time.